Hello and welcome to Opening Bars. Locomotive Breath is the second last track on side 2 of the immensely popular Aqualung album of 1971. For mainstream audiences, this composition may not be as well known as the iconic opening title track itself, but to loyal fans, it is a Jethro Tull favorite. Ian Anderson himself had this to say about the piece in a 2013 interview. "When I wrote it, I wasn't deliberately setting out to write a piece of music on a particular subject, but it evolved during the writing process into being not terribly specific, but about the issues of overcrowding, the rather claustrophobic feel of a lot of people in a limited space, and the idea of the incessant, unstoppable locomotive being metaphor for seemingly the unstoppable population expansion on planet Earth." If you're interested in gleaning further insights into this song, or perhaps the entire Aqualung album, I would recommend an essay by Alan Moore, published in the most excellent 33 1/3 series. It's an engaging read, despite Moore's annoyingly all too frequent and wholly unnecessary digression into parenthetical thoughts. Anyway, enough of my own railing, and let's get back on track, examining more closely Locomotive Breath. We'll look at just the first 44 seconds, the 16-bar intro here. Using a standard piano grand staff, we'll notate this section using the treble clef for the right hand, the bass clef for the left hand, one sharp to indicate E minor, and a time signature of 3/4. The first two notes in the left hand are the dominant to tonic, a B to E. The first interval in the right hand completes the E minor tonic chord, which is the primary tonality. The opening melodic phrase, in thirds, is centered in this key, connected by passing tones. Next, this motif is reiterated down a third, leading to the dominant with a nice moment of tension, that suspended E resolving to the major third via the second in the left hand. The opening phrase is heard once more, ending on the same 5 chord in first inversion now with the added appoggiatura and seventh. This really ramps up the tension yet another notch. The right hand then remains at the same pitches, but is now cleverly extended into an unexpected harmonic area. What a great moment of suspense and anticipation. And then we're propelled into something quite different, a blues scale-like passage. Over a stepwise left-hand motion in minor seventh intervals, from B to A and then G. The last one acting as a kind of Neapolitan, I would say, in root position to the 5/7 of 5, ending on an open pair of Bs, which ultimately signals a return to E. Let's look at the rhythm. I've chosen to keep everything notated in 3/4, just for clarity's sake. I would not try to notate the actual performance, as I have seen some attempt online. That just leads one into messy triplet and sextolets and other time signatures perhaps, and that's just not necessary here. The first 8 measures is really one rhythmic melodic motif with variations, and the patterning is clear: a pickup into the 1 and the offbeat 8th, followed up by 3 pairs of 8ths and a quarter. The motif and its modest development is clear and well designed. Then things get more interesting. The 8ths now ascend steadily toward the apex, and then we hurtle downwards in a frenzied flourish, notated here with 16ths and 32nd notes. Then a couple of grace notes and a syncopated stutter in measures 14 to 15. Then the rhythmic pacing slows as we migrate back to straight quarters to pause on the dotted half note with a fermata. Overall, the clarity of structure and unfurling here feels very classical in form to begin with, as if all of the gears and switches in the engineering compartment are being dialed in. And then the beast slowly comes alive, breaking its chains of constraint, and with a final belch of steam, the rumbling metal mammoth prepares to move. I think there's opportunity here, again, to approach the idea of musicality. I fully understand that showmanship is a large part of the live performance, but I have to take issue with one video I saw on YouTube which has prompted this response. A link is in the description. My point is that often too grand a gesture at the piano or keyboard not only visually distracts, it often also detracts musically from the performance. And if you listen to the audio only, this introduction is disjointed, jagged, and messy. It contains no phrasing or rhythmic continuity or clarity of structure. I fully understand that this is meant to be played freely as a preamble or exposition of sorts, but that doesn't mean it should not be musical. I'll play this 2 ways for you now, one that imitates, and perhaps parodies a little bit, the live on-stage performance of which I speak, and then I'll play it the way I prefer to render it. Listen carefully for the shape of the dynamics, the melody, the rhythmic impulse. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment below. I'm always intrigued when a composer rearranges their own creations. Locomotive Breath is one of those pieces, one that Ian Anderson and his arranger John O'Hara reworked for the 2017 album Jethro Tull, The String Quartets. It's here that one can really hear Ian's original intent, I believe, with the classical beginning and then the bluesy digression, with a slight deviation here too to pay homage to the Bach cello suites, also lyrically and musically rendered by the cello. Here now are those opening bars. I hope you enjoyed your lesson today. Remember, don't just play notes. Make music. Until next time, thanks for listening.